Hi everyone, welcome to let me check, 11? Are we week 11? Oh yeah, week 11. Happy November. Um, Today is the second day of November. So hopefully you had a fun and safe weekend. Stay safe. The corona is still out there and it's getting actually worse again one more time. So just be careful. Um, I hope that you're ready for this week. Last week, before we start, go vote. Tomorrow is the last day that you can vote. If you didn't vote, definitely go on Tuesday and vote if you are eligible and you can. All right. Last week we studied chapter 9, and probably I reminded you how important that chapter is. And I also recorded another video last week on Monday, I believe, and posted it on D12 for you. And I also reminded you on one of my announcement. I tried to go over all the graphs, important graphs we had in production and costs in the short run. So make sure that you check that video. Definitely work on your term papers before I talk about chapter 10 that we're going to discuss and study this week. You will have 20 days exactly, or 19 days to finish your paper and try to get 100. Try to get A on your term paper. It's not really that difficult. Just follow how I ask you to write the term paper, have some introduction. Definitely review the video that I sent you earlier this semester again, and read the syllabus. Just make sure that your format is MLA. Don't convert it to PDF. You're going to lose point. If I already talked about topics and everything, but still I didn't hear from some of you guys that I asked you that your topic, for instance, is macro. I still didn't get your new topic, so make sure that you communicate with me before you start writing your paper. All right. As far as this week goes, this week we are going to start new chapter 10. It's about perfect competition market and how we can maximize profit in this market. We had perfect competition in chapter 3. So if you do not remember demand and supply in this chapter, definitely go back, review chapter 3, and then come back and study chapter 10. We will learn basically how businesses in this market operate, how they can maximize their profit. At the beginning of this chapter, we also talk briefly about the characteristics of other important markets in microeconomics, like monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and monopoly. We will talk about monopoly next, and then we will talk about also oligopoly. But remember, oligopoly is chapter 13, which is kind of the last chapter that we're going to discuss this semester. And the only thing that I want you to be focused for chapter 13 is the characteristics of oligopoly market. That's about oligopoly market. I'm not going to ask anything about profit maximization in this chapter, so I'm kind of keeping it short. But for chapter 10 and chapter 12, perfect competition and monopoly, we need to know how businesses basically operate and can maximize their profit, but not for chapter 13 for oligopoly. That's a kind of topic if you're an econ major that you will learn in your more kind of advanced microeconomics and in your game theory. So if we're going ahead and looking at the chapters and everything, for chapter 13, I'm keeping it very, very short, okay? But we will talk about some of the characteristics of these 4 important markets we have in microeconomics. At the beginning of chapter 10, you need to know all of them. Know the examples, okay? For instance, for perfect competition, we say that you can get easily into the market, you can leave the market easily. It's a huge market. We have tons of buyers and sellers. One buyer, one seller cannot impact the price. All the firms are price takers, all these things, okay? So read the beginning of this chapter carefully, and then we're going to talk about profit maximization in perfect competition. Pay attention again to all the graphs we have pay attention to, for instance, the demand in this market. You will see that the demand for the market is in this market is different from the demand for one single firm. Okay, so read the notes, watch the videos, watch the handout that I provided for you for this week, week 11. Do the assignments as always on Connect. Let me just check. And we have, I believe, let me find the discussion. Yes, and we have our last discussion this week, so don't miss it. That will be our last discussion, discussion 6. Do not miss it. Remember, I think I told you also last week that I'm trying to finish everything before Thanksgiving, because when we come back from Thanksgiving, we have only 1 week, and then we're taking the final exam. And that week after Thanksgiving, I am not going to assign any new chapters for you, because I want you guys, because the final is big. So I want you guys, and I know that we don't typically study during Thanksgiving, so I understand that. So that's why I want you guys to be focused on reviewing everything when we come back from Thanksgiving. And even during Thanksgiving week, again, I'm not going to assign anything for you guys. So basically, if you want to take the advantage of even Thanksgiving, you have 2 weeks to get ready for the final, okay? But again, I understand you want to hang out with your family. We're all busy during Thanksgiving, so if you even don't study anything for Thanksgiving, when we come back, we've finished everything. You have all the materials, you have all the assignments finished by that time. You can go back and review everything from the beginning, and I believe that you have enough time. 1 week is enough. Again, you can also take the advantage of Thanksgiving week. So that's why we have our last discussion this week. So do not miss it. All right. We still have assignments on everything. You have your term paper that you're working on. So definitely don't miss any assignments. These are our kind of last week. This week we are going to study chapter 10, next week chapter 12, and basically our last chapter will be chapter 13, as I mentioned, which is about oligopoly market, and then it's Thanksgiving. All right. Let me know if you have any question, as always, and have a great week. I'll see you soon.